Hello everyone, welcome you all in this particular video. In this video that we are going to work on the project template. Let's say if you are working on some of the machine learning or data science projects. So as you can see in the screen, this is the one project that I have, a spam classification machine learning project, where I have mentioned a static file, template file, and apart from this that I have some pickle file, app.py file, a deployment file, proc file, docker file. So the same folder structure that we are following whenever we are working on the industry projects? Definitely no. So let me show you first of all which types of project standard industry follow, and based on this we can make a project template, so that same template you can use in your project, whatever the project that you are doing. Okay, you can just, this is the one time work that you can complete, make a project template, and the same template you can use in your all machine learning or the data science project. Little bit modification you can do, and based on the modification you can start working on the project. No need to work on again and again on the same template. Okay, so in this video series mainly I will focus on the project template first with a modular coding. Okay, so let me show you first of all which types of folder structure and the project structure mainly industry follow. So as you can see, this is the Kiraj official GitHub profile that we have, and under this file as you can see we have some folder like GitHub folder, VS Code, Kiraj, Shell, third party, and below as you can see setup.cfg, requirements file, readme file. Apart from this you will get a different file as well. So let me open the Kiraj folder here. So whenever we are opening a Kiraj folder, you see here you will get the lots of things. Let me tell you some of the things like saving file, testing file, pre-processing file, optimizers file, model files, matrix file. So these are the important file you will get, and under this let me open any file. So let me open the model file. So under the model file again as you can see the init.py, cloning.py, cloning test.py. So these are the file that we have, but whenever we are importing Kiraj, we are importing each and everything, right? Import tensorflow.kiraj, and then we are importing whatever the thing model or whatever the thing that we want. Let me show you TensorFlow as well. So again in a TensorFlow, as you can see this is the TensorFlow official documentation profile that we have, GitHub TensorFlow, and again all those files, models files, configuration file, configuration.cmd file, workspace file, license files, contribution md files, build files, and under this TensorFlow file again you will get lots of folder. Apart from this lot of folder, one important file that you will get, init.py. So under the init.py, let's say we are importing something from this folder, from this Java folder. So we are going to write tensorflow.java and then model, whatever the model that we are going to import. So in an industry project we have a lots of folder. We have a lots of folder under this TensorFlow file, right? So is it possible to every time import each and everything from the particular folder? No. So in this case what we can do, whatever the thing that we want from here in this folder, we can put it down each and everything under the init file. So let me open the init file. As you can see under the init file we have only imported folder here, imported file, like from tensorflow.python import this one, import tensorflow.python.platform from flag, import tensorflow.python platforms, import app. So we are not importing these things, we are just writing import tensorflow hdf, nothing else. So whatever the necessary file that we have under this TensorFlow folder, we can just import it each and everything under this init.py. But whatever the file that we have, these are the file that we have here, the C, compiler, core, doc, src. So these are the important folder that we have. So the same structure industry follow. Okay, even as you can see my new project, this is the old project that I shown you. This is the old project that I have, where I have just added my static file and template file. But whenever I started working as a professional person in an industry project, I got to know, okay, the industry follow these types of structure, folder structure. As you can see in my recent project, NER projects, under this NER again that I have DVC. So these are the DVC that I have implemented. So that's why DVC that we have, artifacts, configs, docs, research env, and the src. What all those things that we have under this src. So let me open and then show you. So under this src file that I have, NER, data ingestion, data preprocessing, data validation, models, model evaluation, model trainers, NER's utils file that we have, and init.py. So these are the important file that we have: ingestion, preprocessing, model, evaluation, training, each and everything what important file that we have under the src file that we have. Apart from this, as you can see the setup.py that we have, requirements, params, mkdocs, where because I'm going to implement in this project a DVC and ML flow, so that is why I have this important file. Okay, so definitely if you are working on industry projects, so definitely you can implement these things. Okay, but yeah, in this video mainly we will focus on how to make a project template first. Okay, again in another project that I have, DVC project ML. So as you can see, data given, notebook, prediction service, reports, src. Again under the src file you will get each and everything: get data, load data, split data, training and evaluate. So whatever the important thing that we have, doesn't matter, you can write the any file name. I have written the src. Okay, as you can see on the Kiraj, you will get the Kiraj file here. On TensorFlow you will get the TensorFlow file here. So it depends on you. Let's say if you are making a like a regression project, so you can write, apart from src you can write regression. If you are working on the classification project, you can write classification. These are the project folder name. Okay, so what I can do, let's try to create first one GitHub profile. We can clone it, GitHub profile, and then we can start writing a code. And the same project template you can use in your any project with little bit modification. Okay, so I'm going to make first of all one GitHub profile. So let's click on new, YouTube project template. If you want to work on the industry type project, guys, please try to follow this video. This is my request to everyone. Project template, private, add readme file. I want a readme file here. Template, so Python I'm going to select, and license wise I'm going to select Apache license, and then you can create a repository. So now repository is created. What I can do after that, I'm going to clone this repository, so that whatever the thing that I'm going to write, I can push it on my GitHub directly. Okay, and next time whenever I want to work on any other project, I can directly use this template. Okay, so now just click on code, click on here. Let me open the folder. I have a one empty folder here, so let me open my cmd command here, and after that I can clone my all data from GitHub here. So git clone. So I'm just cloning our data here. Now as you can see, my GitHub profile is cloned here. Now I'm going to open my VS Code here in this particular folder, because whatever the code that I'm going to write, I want to write in this particular folder. So cmd and then code dot. I want to open VS Code in this particular folder. So now as you can see, the VS Code is opened here. It will take few seconds because my system is slow. So okay, fine, now it's open. So what I can do, I'm going to create one template.py file first. Template.py. Now template.py file is created here. So now we can start writing a code. So first I want OS, import OS. But before this one, let me configure my Python interpreter. So what I can do, let me open my, close my camera first so that I will show you. So now I'm going to set my interpreter here. So I'm going to select right now any interpreter. Later part I will show you how you can create a environment, particular environment for this project. So right now I'm going to select a Bigmart. So now as you can see, interpreter is set. Now we can start writing a code. So first of all, I have imported the OS. Now I want from pathlib import path. Then we can start which types of file and what are the file that we want under this particular folder. Okay, under this particular folder, what are the necessary file that we want, so we can write it down here. Okay, now just start file list of files. Whatever the files that I want, I am going to write it down here. So under the list, I am going to define each and everything. So first that I want dot GitHub, and under this GitHub file I want dot GitHub folder. Under this dot GitHub folder I want workflow. I will explain you all those files, whatever the file that we are writing here, I will explain you each and everything. Now I want git keep. Okay, now the next file that I want dot GitHub. Okay, workflows. So I'm going to copy the same thing, whatever the thing that I have written here, and under this file I want ci.yml file. Let's say if you want to implement a CI/CD pipeline, so for this purpose I want ci.yml file. Okay, now next I want some folder, project folder. So I'm going to define if string dot, let's say if I'm going to write it down, let's go with the src, but whatever file that you have, you can just mention it to your file name, whatever the file that you want. Now after this I want a project. Under this src folder I want a project name. Okay, so for this we can define here project name. Okay, so if I'm going to define a project name, so first of all we can define here, okay, you can enter your project file name first. Okay, whatever the project file name that you have. So for this I'm going to write while true label. Okay, so let me import the logging as well, because we want a logging as well in our project. So I'm going to define a logging as well, import logging. So logging dot wash config, and here I am going to define whatever the necessary thing that we want. I want label first, label equal to logging dot info. Next I want format, like timing I want, so I'm going to define a timing here, format equal to, so here I want ASCII time first, ASCII time. Second I want label name, and third I want a message, whose types of error that we are getting. Okay, so message, three things that we want here. Now let me define here while true project name, we are going to enter input. So user have authority, whatever the project name they want, they can enter. Okay, so enter your project name. Okay, so you have authority, you can write your project name. If project name not equal to whatever the space, or you can just put it down, then break. Okay, now the project part that we have completed here. Okay, one more thing that I want to add here, logging dot info if string creating project by name, and then under this string I am going to define our project name. Whatever the error that you will get, it will store under this logging file. Okay, now three things that we have completed. So project name. After that, under this src file we want a project folder name, and then we want a init file. So underscore underscore init underscore underscore dot py. Okay, now third I want, let me, okay, no issue, next time I can copy it. F dot test. Now I want test folder. Under this test folder I want unit, and then again under this file I want a init.py. So underscore underscore init.py. But before this one, what I want one folder here. I want one folder. So let me copy and paste here. Here I did not want a folder. First init.py, and then it will create a test folder. First I want test folder. Under this test folder init.py, then again test folder. Under this test folder I want unit folder, and then init.py file, so that we can store all our modules. Okay, now I want configs folder, configs. Under this configs I want configs.yml if you are working on CI/CD pipeline. So configs dot yml. Now I want a doc file, because let me show you the doc file first here. I have created a beautiful docs here, as you can see somewhere. I will show you. Yeah, NER project, this is the NER project that I have, and here as you can see this is the documentation that I have made. So whatever the thing that we are going to implement, like a steps, create a repository, new repository, create an environment, and whatever the thing that you want, you can just put it down. Next is the data injection, whatever the like multiple folder you can create. Same for the DVC project. Okay, so I thought I have made for the another project. Let me show you here, because nowadays I am working on the multiple projects. So because of this one, so DVC machine learning project, no, DVC project template and DVC project. I actually, yeah, DVC NLP DVC project. So again this is the file that we have created. How? For documentation. So if docs, under this docs I want index dot index.md. Okay, this will delete it from here. Now this is the doc file that we want. Now apart from the doc file, as you can see here on my file, I have some requirement files, params file, mkdocs files, init.setup file, setup.py file. So I want these types of file as well, so that in future whatever the thing that we want, we can just do the little bit modification and our project template is ready. As you can see the NLP DVC project template that I have created, and here this is the important folder that we have. Under this src again that I have all those files. Okay, so the same structure that we are going to make here. So now I want init.setup.sh file. So for this one I'm going to define init setup underscore setup.sh, this file that I want. Now the next file that I want, requirements.txt. Next that I want requirements, requirements.txt file that I want. Okay, now next that I want setup.py. Next I want setup.cfg file. So as you can see in the Kiraj, somewhere in the Kiraj that you will get this file. Let me show you again. So as you can see setup.cfg. Okay, so I'm going to just copy and paste the same file name. So setup.cfg. Now next file that we want, talks.ini. See, I will explain you all file, whatever the file that we are writing, why we are going to create this types of file. Even we can write it down a code as well. Okay, so don't worry, just focus on this one. I want main.py file now, because we are going to create an application. Again under this main, after main.py file I want mkdocs.yml file, because we are going to create a doc as well. As you can see here we have defined mkdocs. Okay, so now this is the necessary file that we have. These are the necessary file that we want in our projects. These are the all necessary file. So now what I can do, let's define the for loop after defining your all folder structure. Okay, so I'm going to write for file path in where list of files, file path in list of files, file path equal to path. I'm going to call a path here. As you can see here, we have defined a path lib from path. Okay, so path, what? Our file path, next file directory and file name equal to os.path.split. I'm going to split a path. Okay, so split what? Our file path. Now I'm going to write a condition here. If file directory not equal to, then create a what? New folder. So os.mkdirs, okay, make a directory, file directory comma exist, okay, equal to what? True. If it exists, then true. Then I'm going to call a logging, so that if we will get some issue, it will store under the logging file. So logging.info and if string creating, I'm going to add some message, creating a new file, and then I'm going to define our file name. So file name at where? At our path, and then I'm going to define a path here, file path. Okay, so this is the file path that I have defined. Now again I'm going to write another condition. If not os.path.exist then file path or os.path, and I'm going to define a size dot get size file path equal to 0. Okay, width, now I'm going to define a width. Okay, so here indentation, width open what? File in write mode, file path in what? In write mode, and then as if I'm going to create a definition and then pass, because I did not want anything here. Next, now I'm going to define a logging again. So logging, if we will get some issue here in this particular things, then it will create a logs. So logging dot info if string creating a new file, and whatever the thing that I have here now, I'm just copy and pasted the same thing. So copy and paste file 4, because I have defined here new things. So file, okay, so here that we have a new directory, creating a new, here we are going to create a new directory, right? Not file. So directory at where? At file directory, file directory for path, and file path that we have to file name. Little bit modification you can do here, guys. Okay, so here I have made the mistakes. Now it's fine. So first this one, okay, now it's fine. Now if condition is fine, now we are going to work on the else part. Else what? Logging dot info if string, and we are going to create a file is already present at where? On our file path. So we will get this message on file path. Okay, so now this condition is completed, all those things. So let's go through again our code again. So we have created the logging, as you can see here. We want a label, then we have entered the project name. User have authority to whatever the project name that you have, you can just mention it. Then these are the file that you want, so we have defined the file. Then I have written the condition for file path in list of file. Then you can define the file path, okay, file directory and the file name that I have defined, the split with what? File path. Then if file directory not exist, then create a file directory and define the exist, okay, is equal to true. Then I have defined the logging, creating a new directory where under this file directory for file name. If not, then exist file path or OS get size, you can define this one. Okay, with the open file path we have defined the write mode, logging, if string that we have defined, creating a new file. Okay, now let's try to run this. Open a terminal and let's try to run. So as you can see, the activated. Now we can write the, let's clean first of all, and then Python template.py. Okay, so file path that we have issued, let me check it out, where? Line number 44. As you can see, the line number 44 that we are getting the issue. So let's check if string that we have. Okay, so here that we have issue. I hope now it's fine. Let's save it and then run this file again. Okay, so again that we have issue in line number 5, base config, where? So again that we have issue okay, base config that I have written here basic config. Now let's, spelling mistake that I have done, no issue, let's try to run. Okay, now as you can see, let me interrupt first, let me close and then I will show you here. So I'm going to write here Python template.py. Whenever we enter it, as you can see, it's asking enter your project name. So now whatever the project name that you have, regression, classification, house price, like whatever the project name that you have, you can just mention. So let's say I'm going to enter a regression and hit the enter. Now as you can see, in the left hand side all files are created. Even as you can see in the terminal, here you are getting the message your files are created. Creating the config files, configs.yml, index file, index setup files, requirements, setup.py, setup.config, talks, init, main file, each and everything, all files are created. But as you can see here, we are getting the one issue. Main py mk docs. What is this? Look like I have done the little bit mistake in our comma thing. So let me check it out. So I have defined the main.py. As you can see here, I have not mentioned the comma. So let me save it. What I can do, I'm going to again in our local folder. Apart from this template, I'm going to delete each and everything. I will show you again because I have done the little bit mistakes. So let me delete each and everything first. Now as you can see, the files are deleted. I have only template file again. Again the template file that we have. Let me open the terminal again. Now the terminal open, clean up, and then I'm going to write Python template.py. Enter regression. All files are created. As you can see, all files are created. Now this time we are getting the mk docs .yml file. So let me show you one by one. Talks init file that we have. This is the template that we have created. Setup.py file that we have. Let me little bit down it. This one. Yes. Now setup.config that we have. Requirements where we can mention our requirement files. mkdocs, we can create a doc. Documentation. Main.py file, we can create application. Init.setup, I will explain you with the code. Test file, again under the test file we have a unit and init. Again unit that we have init file. As you can see, I have defined here units. First test, under this test underscore init.py, test unit folder, and then unit.py. Again here you can focus on regression. Under this src I have a regression folder. Okay, so under this again whatever the project that you want, as you can see in my project, let me show you in my recent project template, no not here, look like here. So under this src I have a, no not here, actually I have created lots of files, so that's why little bit confusing that I have, but no issue. Let me show you project template. Yeah, under this NLP project that I have src, under this src you have a your project, under this src you have a your regression project file. Now what you can do, you can create a data ingestion file, data preparation file, data validation file, NER model, whatever the file that you want. Next part I will show you under the setup file and init.setup file what you can write, so that you will get this types of folder structure under your src folder again. Okay, so this is the first video, most probably 3 to 4 video I am going to create in this particular playlist, so that you can ready with your project template, and the next time whatever the project that you are going to do, the same project template you can implement in your projects. Okay, so I hope this video is useful to you. As you can see, this is the code that we have. Okay, so if you find this video is helpful to you, please do like this video, subscribe the channel, and share with your friends as well. Thanks for watching everyone.